Welcome to a Mizuki matchup tier list. I'm going to be thinking about this kind of on the fly because I haven't given too much thought on all of his matchups, but I think I have a decent enough feel for what heroes are easier to play against and what heroes are really difficult to play against. I think he's overall pretty balanced though, and doesn't have a massive hard counter or a massive character that he counters. So let's just dive in. D.Va, I think, is really difficult. That's a start. I think D.Va is really tough. Chain, you can hit through Matrix because it works like a whip shot, which is good, but you can't follow up any damage onto her. Matrix really does shut you down big time. And unlike Brig, where the Brig D.Va matchup's actually favorable, right? They're similar. Brig's matchup is favorable because whip shot is all you kind of need to hit and has a boop, whereas Chain doesn't have a boop. It keeps her close to you. And then also Brig can hit through the Matrix. The way to make this playable is really just to think about the tether and use your shift as an escape tool. You don't want to burn your shift early, but it is a tough matchup. I think D.Va's difficult. I mean, I can move it up if we get a harder one, but I think that's going to baseline be the difficult one. Domina is just really strong right now, so it's hard to tell. Domina feels difficult for everyone. I would say it's either a skill check or doesn't make too much of a difference. The shield is massive and can be really annoying, but it doesn't interfere with your gameplay that much. If you are taking side lanes and side angles, typically speaking, the targets you're attacking are not going to be protected by her shield. But Domina's just really strong, so that can suck. And so, yeah. But otherwise, she's not going to really kill you. She can't close the gap onto you or anything. Like, you're kind of fine. It's just a bit of a frustrating shield to deal with. So I wouldn't say it's favorable, though. Doom. I've barely played into Doomfist this season. Like, no one seems to be playing Doom. It's pretty easy, though. Tether messes this guy up. You know, like, if he slams punches and you tether, he won't be able to use the next cooldown. He'll have to force block. Or he might just die. It's a pretty easy matchup. And again, saving your shift is really good here. You can shift away, he might punch you, and then you just teleport back, and then it's easy. It's really not a difficult matchup. So I'd put it in really easy. It's not like a direct counter, but I've never really struggled against the Doomfist. And on paper as well, it's not a hard matchup. Hazard's kind of similar, where he has to use an engage cooldown, and then getting tethered really can mess him up. But Wall is quite frustrating. His block is really good. I would say it's favorable. I wouldn't say you have to be dramatically better than the Hazard, but you got to think about it like this. The Hazard can just skill check you. Hazard will be good at just shutting you down if he's good. So you have to still play decently well, but you can kind of keep your distance fairly easily. And again, good discipline with your Kadashira return will make it easier. And tether, you can just shoot into this guy while he's blocking and build for Queen stuff. Queen's always really good at just closing distances onto people. That's where tether, again, super useful. It really can shut her down. She's hard to hit, but I'd say tether makes it pretty good. I'm actually going to say it's a skill check. I think if you miss tether, you're dead. Whereas these two, you have your shift will actually make a difference. Whereas she has speed boost and knife. The knife can just pull you back if she hits it. So there's a bit of a skill check going on there. If you hit your tether and you close the disengage, you create a big gap between you. It is significantly easier to win that fight, but Queen's pretty strong. Malga, you don't really do anything to Malga, but Malga doesn't really do anything to you. You can't tether him when he charges, and he can charge out, so your tether is useless. But he's not really that threatening. I would just say it's, again, a skill check. It's just a normal matchup. It's like a normal tank. You aren't significantly strong into this guy, but he's not going to kill you either. It's sort of normal. Luckily, big hitbox means it's really easy to farm damage and farm aura, but there's nothing special. There's nothing you can do that's going to make the Malga matchup easier. It's really just who's playing better in that game. Release Orisa. Okay. Orisa's pretty good into Mizuki because she can gold tether and she can spin tether. You see how a lot of the focus is on the tether because it makes a really big difference in these tank matchups. Is who does the tether affect? It makes a really big difference because his characters will mess you up. Tether is like your cooldown to guarantee doors, but it's tough. I think Orisa's tough. Gold makes her unkillable for you. You can't do anything to her when she's gold, and same with spin. Spear can mess you up. She's similar to Malga, where you could just ignore her and sort of do your own thing, but Orisa makes it a lot more difficult to ignore, and you can't do really anything into her. It's not like D.Va though. D.Va really gets in your face and messes you up, whereas Orisa, like, again, you can just If you're playing on those side lanes, you're spacing well, she's going to be less of an issue. But it's rough. Ram's actually quite good. Again, I'm talking about the tether. It's really easy to land, and it makes a huge difference. If this guy pops Nemesis form, you get like a second to disengage. So I'm going to probably put this in just a skill check. I don't feel like the Ram matchup is particularly like, oh, I enjoy playing against a Ram as Mizuki, because it doesn't really feel like you do much again. Block will always just shut everything down, and if he gets on top of you, you are just dead. So that's what I'm saying, the skill check. You just have to be aware of Ramatra and play fairly smart, fairly well into him. But it's not like a problem. I wouldn't say he's problematic, but he's not favorable. That's why I'm kind of it's sort of like, I should almost make it skill check. Not really either, I'm gonna say. Like, not really either favorable or tough. Like, sort of just like, yeah, it's fine. Rhine, I actually really like the Rhine matchup. He charges in. Tether is super predictable and easy. He's a melee character, really easy to disengage, really easy to just poke out from the side, really easy to flip fights on this guy. So if he's looking at you one way and then you TP and dash through with that TP, you can assume from behind, TP back, and you can flip the fight on this guy really well. And also, I did the other day, if you're good enough at it, you can iframe some of these ults. So has it included on that with your TP. So yeah, it's the return. So if your TP's in place, you can return and iframe dodge a lot of stuff. Actually, does that work with Shadow? Because Shadow feels... Nah, I'm pretty sure you can. You can iframe dodge pretty much every ult. I don't know why, yeah. But the Rhine matchup is fairly favorable. I'd say the Rhine can't do anything into you, whereas you have more of an advantage to him. But it's nothing crazy. It's not like an easy, like, free game here. But Ryan's going to struggle into you. And so that's where I say, if Ryan struggles into you, then you're, getting a favorable matchup out of that. Hog. It's always a skill check with Hog. Like, if he hits a hook onto any character, you're gonna die, right? But big hitbox, easy to hit shots, easy to get aura. Tether can be disgusting on a character like Hog because he cannot then disengage. Yeah, he doesn't have a movement cooldown, but he just has to stand in place and take a ton of damage. So I would actually say this is favorable. Your range is 30, whereas Hook is 20, so you can play out of Hook range and still attack him. And yeah, I'd say the Hog matchup is pretty good. You're going to be at max aura pretty much all game, which means you're going to be farming ult, healing on people. Yeah, Hog's a good matchup. Again, similar to the Rhine, where it's not like the game becomes super easy, but it's not difficult. Sigma's is interesting. I haven't given too much thought on the Sigma's matchup. The shield is annoying, being able to replace it everywhere, cut you off. You don't get that much value out of Tether in comparison to some other tanks. He can really outpoke you, and even if you were to close the gap, he still will beat you. Sigma's hard. There's not much you can do. It's going to be similar to Orisa, where there's nothing you can do to them, but because they're immobile, somewhat immobile, they're quite easy just to space and just contest other lanes. But his poke is pretty good, and that's where that comes. And the shield can be annoying. So I'd say it's harder than Orisa, but it's not that difficult. It's definitely in the Sigma's favor, though. It feels like a character that just... It's hard to really do anything special into him. Whereas these ones, you can shut down and punish. You're not going to do anything to Sigma. You just have to ignore him. You really can't do much. Like, Tether's not terrible if he's just used Shift, because he then just has to die. But again, his shield is rock. There's so much more happening there. And he's usually going to be playing a much safer distance and safer angle, as opposed to some of the other tanks that have to be in your face. So I'll put in there. Winston's a good matchup. I like the Winston matchup. Bubble can be frustrating, but he is someone that gets highly punished with a tether. Highly punished. And my tip for it is to actually, when he jumps in, tether slightly later if you can, because then he can't jump out. He has about 4 seconds, or to be fair, by the time he lands, it's about 3 seconds, 2.5, depending on how high up he went, before his jump comes back. And so if you give it a couple more seconds and then tether, that window that he wanted to jump out of, he doesn't have. I'd say it's favorable. I initially thought it was way easier, but Bubble really can mess you up. Like, Bubble can just really be tough. Bubble's always going to make this guy good, and a good Winston will just... It won't matter. But if your team were to hard focus this guy while tethered, he's going to die. And he's quite easy to predict. I'll put it in really easy, like low end of really easy. It's quite easy to predict what Monkey's going to do, and just Katashira return out, then TP back, tether. Like, there's a lot of things. It's going to be... You shouldn't struggle played into Winston. Good Winston will always mess you up. Good Winston's able to do that, but you shouldn't mess up too much into Winston. Ball, yeah, Ball's pretty favorable. You're never going to kill him, but again, a character like this, there is not a bad time to tether, and he's a massive hitbox. It messes up everything. You can mess up his slam, you can mess up his roll away, you can mess up, like, just after the slam, you can mess up everything. And it's really predictable to hit the right click on this guy. Yeah, it's a good character. My tip with the tether is to have way more patience. Don't go for it when it's tough to hit, right? And that requires a bit of active thinking. But you've got to think, if he's moving really quick and flying through the air, don't go for the tether. That's going to be really difficult. But he's gonna have to come near you to try kill you or your teammate. And that's where you want to hit the tether. It is really good. But the reason I would say it's really easy, because he's never going to die for it, because it's Ball. And you don't shut down. It's more of an inconvenience and a way to cancel some of his stuff. But again, good balls. And does the perk still exist? Yeah, the perk still exists. So if the perk still exists where the barrier, yeah, your tether becomes even more difficult. So favorable. Zarya's hard, I think. Bubble is just such a good cooldown. Beam is good. I'm going to say it's tough. I'm going to say this is similar to Sigma and Orisa, where there's not much you can do into this character, but there's not much the character can do into you. They can just shut down a lot with Bubble, and they can bubble teammates and really mess up some things that you're doing. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily hard. Well, it is, but it's just, I think it's favored in the Zarya more so than you, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Unrun, the dodge is pretty good. The dodge does stop a lot. I mean, I've never found it easy. Skill check. Good tether discipline. Good spacing. Good kind of like play well, and this character can get shut down. That's right. This is definition of a skill check. She can be really, like, if you are significantly better than the unrun, yeah, you will shut this guy down. Like, she won't be able to do anything. But if the unrun's really good and you're maybe having a sloppy game, she will just destroy you. So it can go either way. It just depends on how well you play. And that sounds dumb. It's such a cop out, but yeah. Ashe, okay, I've said this before, long range matchups are tough. You just don't have this. It's similar to how, again, Brig struggles with this. Like, yeah, and you can't cleanse Dynamite. Ashe is significantly tougher than the other ones because Dynamite is able to really mess you up. She's not, like, going to destroy you. That's not, I'm gonna say tough. Like Ashe is at the end of the day. Again, if you're playing correctly, playing the right angles, playing the right lane, playing the spacing well, Ashe is not going to mess you up that much. Dynamite can be tough. And then also the Ranger, which Ashe can play, does just beat you. Bastion, I haven't really played much against Bastion that much this season. So I'm gonna have to think about this one theoretically, because I really don't think I've played against Bastion in all the many hours I've played this season already. Not gonna do much to you. I'll be so honest. Tether can really shut him down. Massive hitbox, really easy to hit shots. Just wait out form, and you have Katashira return. I think you're pretty solid in the Bastion. If you mess up, you have a movement cooldown to disengage his form, and then when he's not in form, tether a couple headshots, he's gonna die. Cassidy, this really is the classic just don't get hindered. So I'm gonna put that in skill check. If you tether and he doesn't hinder, you win. If he hinders and you don't tether, you lose. Pretty decent hitbox, has to play fairly similar to your range. You have a good movement cooldown compared to him, and tethering in place means he can't roll. There's a lot of things you just have to play your cards right. To win the cast matchup. Echo. Flying characters are really difficult. I think Echo is substantially difficult as well for a flying character. Like that, like significantly difficult. I've not been able to do anything to Echoes. The thing is, Tether is extraordinarily good here. If you are to hit that tether, this character can't do a thing. But most good Echoes, once their shift ends, they aren't flying, are usually in a location where you're not going to be able to tether them. They can distance you well, move well, small hitbox, burst you down. Yeah, that's tough. Echo's tough. You can't hit them unless they're on the ground. Yeah, that's a really tough one. It's a really tough one. It's similar to how Brig is tough into this, and Lucio. At least Lucio can move, so he's like hard to hit. Emre, I mean, I think this might just be another little skill check. Emre can't snipe you nearly as much as Ashe can, so you're actually able to take the fight with Emre a lot more often. And the tether is huge. Like some characters, the tether is a massive deciding factor. Like most of the time it is. But here it can make a big difference in his like shift, the jump out. It can just make that really difficult for him. Yeah, I think Emre's a bit of a skill check. Just hit your shots. Like, actually just hit your shots into this. Freya's ridiculously difficult. That one's the difficult one. Freya can play a distance that you cannot touch. So if it's like Ashe, has the burst damage to kill you. And that the dashes are just not predictable. And she can float in the air. That's probably the hardest matchup. I don't think there's a more difficult Mizuki matchup than Freya. What can you do? There actually just isn't anything you can do to Freya. Just ignore her and pray. Genji hard. I think Genji's hard. You can close the gap really well. Deflect will bail him out every time if you were to tether. You're good into his blade with Kadashira return. You've just got to be smarter with your return, but it's hard. It's really difficult. I wouldn't say it's impossible or really difficult, but it is hard. It is. Hanzo. Similar to like Ashe, where the distance is far, so it's difficult, but I haven't struggled that much. The lack of having an ability like Dynamite really makes Hanzo so much easier to kill. And you can just take these little flanks with your return. I actually think this is quite favorable. For some reason, you're skinny enough that the Hanzo is just not going to hit you. Tether means you can't jump away. He's really predictable. Maybe I'll just play against bad Hanzos. In theory, he's a skill check. Put him like top here. In theory, though, he's a skill check. I may have just only played against bad Hanzos. Junkrat. That's similar to Break. That's hard. He can't conk away, which is really useful, but he could just conk you and kill you. Junkrat's hard. Junkrat's hard, man. Because, that's such a weird one. Why is that such a weird one? Because if the Junkrat is just playing bad, like it's just like your average terrible Junkrat, you won't even notice. Like nothing will even notice. You won't even notice it's easy. You won't even notice that it's whatever. But like junk players, like proper junk players will really mess you up. I would say tough. Any character that has to play a similar range to junk will struggle. Mei. Ugh, Mei's just one of the hardest characters to play against. Because I'm assuming that the Mei is obviously a good player. Heather doesn't do anything. Like that's just not a useful cooldown in this fight. Yeah, no, Mei's gonna whoop you, but you could just win. Mei is not going to kill you actively. D.Va, Echo, Freya are gonna go for you and kill you. Mei is just like you're gonna have to contest the Mei, and she's probably gonna be able to sustain herself on the angle longer and eventually kill you. But you can just you could kind of just avoid that, similar to the Sigma Orisa. But Mei's not gonna do anything to you that's gonna annoy you particularly. But she's just hard. Pharah's tough. I wouldn't say Pharah's as difficult as Echo. Like the flight's more predictable. The hitbox is bigger. It's still hard though. It's still difficult. It's still difficult. I have to be honest with it. It's still difficult. You know what? I said impossible. I think Freya's the impossible one. Freya's the impossible one. I think we've already found it. That one's impossible. Yeah. Anyway, both flyers are tough. Reaper's pretty good. Reaper's really good. There is a bit of a skill thing here. You've got to understand the order of the cooldown. If he TPs, he's really easy to just tether and kill, so long as you play your distance right so he doesn't heal himself enough. Because he can't wraith out. It's really good, but it can be outplayed. He can just close the gap. He can just kill you. It can be outplayed easily. But if you play enough Mizuki and you play into Reaper, you'll realize how satisfying it is sometimes to just deny this guy Wraith. Sojourn just molests every character. Double slide perk is broken. But again, that's the thing. Tether does shut that down. Tether does shut that down. Hello, welcome to my my Mizuki matchup tier list. Tether does mess up Sojourn, and so that does give a bit of an edge. But you're never going to be close enough to do that. I think it's tough. I also agree. Sojourn is a very, very unfun character to play against. I think it's a tough matchup. Just because the distance she can play at makes it hard for you. She can slide away before you've even hit Tether. Like, yeah, that's hard. And she's a weird hitbox, in my opinion. But that might just be me. Soldier, I mean, this is pretty favorable. Like, he can't sprint away from you. If you use Katashira Return well, you kind of take a fight on your own terms, and then what's this guy gonna do? It's pretty favorable. I mean, I'd say it's less favorable than some of the other ones, because again, this guy could just play well. But I'd say he's gonna have a harder time killing you than you are him. So yeah, Sombra. I mean, Sombra's good. Sombra's a good matchup. I mean, Sombra's just a piss character. Like, I mean, this is not a real character anymore. But She can't translocate away if you can hit that tether. And then, again, a lot of these I've said, if you hit the tether, you win. Which is, like, obviously somewhat true. But there are characters where it matters more. Like, Sombra being tethered. She can't play the game. She can't translocate out. Like, that is disgusting. Whereas, what's it, like... Who was it? Someone over here where it was kind of like Malga, like, tether doesn't mean anything to this guy. Same with kind of Ram and stuff. Like, it just doesn't really mean much. But yeah, I think Sombra's really easy. I think Sombra's really easy. I mean, you can't cleanse Virus, but I don't know. I think the Sombra matchup's easy. I might be slightly biased because I know how to play into Sombras, but yeah. You could tether Soj and just still manage to one-shot you. Yeah, exactly. That is another thing. Sojin will just kill you anyway. It just doesn't matter. Symmetra. Oh my god, I've barely played into Symmetra. Tether doesn't do anything because she typically will... I am not 100% sure on this. But I don't know if you can TP while tethered. Like, if you have your TP up and you're stood next to it, I don't know if it'll let you, you know, interact with it in TP. If so, then very, 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 very favorable with that. But overall, I think she's sort of one of those characters that just... I must say, this is skill check slash not really either. She's a not really either. She's not... I don't think she's going to be hard to play into, but she's not easy to play into. There's no advantage you have. Symmetra just does her own thing, and if you die to her, you die to her. If you kill her, you kill her. Like, that's just how it works. Torb. I've had some run-ins with some Torbs. This guy's been tough. But it's still Torb. I can't see a world where Torb is that tough to play against. You can break turret fairly well. He's got a massive hitbox. So it's easy to hit tether and then just distance yourself from him. I'd say it's favorable. It's pretty favorable. The only times I die to a Torb is if I, like, just was stupid and completely misplayed. Yeah, I'd say it's favorable. Tracer. I'm actually going to put this in skill check. This is another character where the tether is hard to hit, but if hit, you will instantly kill her. She won't be able to recoil or blink for a second and a half. And then you just have to line up the shot, and it's not too hard. Like, it's not the easiest, but it's not too difficult. Having your own movement cooldown makes a big difference. One headshot and she has to recoil is always gives you an edge. So I'd say that she fits in that middle. Vendetta, like he's actually pretty good in the Vendetta. I have to admit, this is pretty favorable. Yeah, you can just stay away from her. She cannot close the gap on you. You have two cooldowns that just stop her from doing what she wants to do. I mean, Vendetta will always find a way somehow, but it is really playable. It is really, really playable. It's a pretty favorable matchup. Venture as well. Venture has to get in your face, and then it just makes it so easy to tether. And Venture has pretty short cooldown cycles. So what I mean by that is that they will want to dash, shoot, and then go burrow. It's not like they're gonna drill dash into you and then stay up for a bit. They want to get in and out quick. And so tether, as they dash into you, means that they can't get the next part of their cooldown cycle. And Venture's got a big hitbox. So I actually say it's pretty favorable. It's not the easiest. Like, again, you can just play this well. I don't know. I mean, this season so far has been so, like, I don't even know what things are annoying me because there's just so many variables. Widow? I never really thought about it. I mean, like, Widow, long-range characters are tough just because you can't close the distance, but Widow, you have a Sombra Translocator. I'd say it's tough. I'd say it's hard. The way you want to play the game, Widow will shut down fairly easily. But you can get some discussion or flanks, and they've got a really low health pool. Tether. No grapple is just insta-win to the fight. So yeah. Ana. Ana's such a nothing burger matchup. Yeah, I'm not even gonna explain why. That's just going in the middle. Exact same with Bap. These are just both like they're just characters. Like these are just like your template characters that you can fight. It'll be fine. Brig. I haven't paid into too much Brig. You can break shield fairly easily. Shield around corners. If she I mean, you're not gonna. Tether's not that bad. I think you guys both kind of ignore each other, so I'm gonna put that in the middle as well. There's a lot in the middle, but that is just accurate to the game of Overwatch. There are just a lot of middle matchups. Alari. I haven't seen an Alari in like a month. I can't just put all the supports in skill check. I can't. I actually. That just. Even playing Brig. I love Brig. Brig is such a fun character. I actually can't put all the supports in skill check, but Ilari, if she has a good angle, then it's going to be favorable. But if you know how to play into this character, you can just kind of ignore this character. Like, it doesn't really matter. Cat is tough. You do have the one pro that the ult, they have to go in, and then if you time it well, you can just tether and cancel everything. But Jetpack Cat is just so difficult to shoot at. Really difficult to shoot at. You also can get lucky, and if you get ulted, you might have your return up, and then you can just TP back. It's a hard matchup just because, again, it's flying, but I think these are oppressive flyers, whereas this character is just flying. Juno... I don't know. Juno's just like a whatever matchup, man. Like, Juno's just Juno. I can't put all the supports in the middle. Like, this middle rank is getting so full. I'm going to have to do this. Most of them are. Kiriko. Ooh. I have not struggled into a Kiriko on Mizuki, and that has been a thing I've taken for granted. You have a TP of your own. You can shut down her TP with Tether. I'd actually argue this is favorable. Skinny hitbox is always difficult, though. I'd actually argue this is favorable. I don't know why. It just feels a little better. Life Weaver's easy, but I mean, this character's just massive. Like, the character's so easy to hit. You can deny the double jump heal. Lucio, I mean, if you hit the tether on this guy, you can't do anything. I mean, he literally can't do anything. Yeah. Mercy, pretty easy. Again, because this is a character that isn't going to do anything to you. You can only annoy a Mercy, right? Mercy can't do anything to you, and your tether shuts down Mercy entirely. So yeah, Moira again denying Fade is really good. So I'm just gonna say favorable, but nothing crazy. There's nothing that special about the Moira matchup. Wu Yang. I've barely seen any Wu Yangs, but I mean, he plays a distance that's quite difficult for you to touch, and Wave can deny you big time. So actually, I'm gonna get skill check. Zen, probably a free game. I mean, this character's massive, and you've returned. So if he's about to shoot you, you just go and you're out. Probably a free game. And then I'll just leave Mizuki here. I mean, sure, skill check. And that is it. That is the list of the Mizuki matchups. That was a long time. That took a way longer time than I thought it would. The Mizuki matchups. And this is all, grain of salt. Everyone's got different things. People struggle into other characters more. A lot of people struggle into Sombra and might find Sombra really difficult. A lot of people might actually find the Diva matchup really easy for them. I don't know. Everyone's different. This is just what my experience has been.